What's up? Happy Monday. Thank you for being here. Welcome to number 3 of our devotions on the 10 Commandments. So thank you guys for being here with us. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're having a good day today, enjoying the sunshine and all those kind of good things. So as always, want to start with what we're thankful for. When we started this, 3 months ago about now, we talked about the passage from 1 Thessalonians and, be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. There's always things for us to be thankful for. And so we like to start our time together by doing that. So what are you thankful for today? Let me know in the chat. Waiting for my text from the Screen Chicks. Hasn't come in yet. But anyway, so for me today, I am thankful for my wife, for Julie. Today is our 18th wedding anniversary, and I'm just so thankful for all that she means to me as a wife, as a mom. She's such an awesome part of our church family and our youth ministry, and so really, really thankful for her and for the 18 years that God has given us together as a married couple. But let me know what you are thankful for today. I see Luke is thankful for water, especially useful on a hot day like today. I know he and Lucy had a lot of fun playing outside in the water yesterday. So what are you thankful for today? Looks like I've got some texts coming in from Screen Chicks. Eric is thankful for food and Alex thankful for his dad. So appreciate that, guys. I'm thankful for both of those as well. So others that are watching, let me know what you're thankful for today. All right, quarter team game time. Friday, our question was, what is the coldest temperature ever recorded in Illinois? Only had a couple of guesses, so I'm not sure if maybe not as many were able to tune in on Friday, or maybe not everybody ventured to guess. That's all right. So the closest was actually right on the dot, and it was Luke. The correct answer, the coldest temperature ever recorded in Illinois is negative 36 degrees. Crazy. And I tell you what, if I have learned anything during this quarantine, I have learned that Luke is a really good guesser, apparently. So anyway, congrats to him. All right, so we've got new question for today. Since today is mine and Julie's wedding anniversary, your question for today is, what time was our wedding ceremony? What time was our wedding ceremony? So make sure you include AM or PM. Some of you may be thinking, well, Luke's got an unfair advantage. Number one, I don't think he knows the answer. He might guess it. But number two, just for the sake of being clear and being generous, if he happens to be the one to get it high.
I don't know.
Okay.
There you go.
If he happens to be the one to get closest, I will also give a quarter to second place. How about that? Just to make sure that nobody thinks this is unfair or rigged. I want to make sure everybody's a part of it. So let me know what your guess is. What time do you think our wedding ceremony started? All right. Okay, let's get into our devotion for the day. Commandment number 3. Which I have phrased as do not take the Lord's name in vain. So I want to read it real quick for us, okay? So it's Exodus 20, as we've talked about, verse 7 says, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain." All right, so let's talk about that for a second. First of all, I want to mention, for whatever reason, I feel like this is a commandment that I don't think we take this one as seriously as some of the other ones. I feel like this is one that for whatever reason we tend to kind of dismiss. I don't know if that's because we think others are more important, like no other gods before me, or do not murder, or whatever, or if, I don't know, maybe for some of us it's just something that we don't care about because we don't want to obey it. I don't know. But I think we don't value this as much as we should. And I think there's good reason, even just in that verse, to give us a good reason why we should take it seriously, because like we know the first part, right? Don't, depending on your translation, don't take the Lord's name in vain, don't misuse his name, whatever. But the second part, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Translated, God will discipline us, will punish us if we don't obey this. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not forgiveness if we repent and try and follow him. But the point is, this is something that God takes seriously, and therefore it should be something that we take seriously. So what does that mean, and how do we do it? Okay, so as I said, ESV uses the phrase in vain. NIV uses the phrase misused, which I think is more how we talk now, I guess I would say. Both are an accurate way to describe what's being said in this verse. So I'll describe it one way. First off, in our house, one of the ways that we talk about this to help us avoid misusing God's name, to avoid using his name in vain, is that we don't say God or Jesus Christ or things like that unless we're talking to him or about him. Okay. If I'm speaking to God in prayer or singing his praises, great. That's what we want. If I'm teaching about him and talking about him, that's cool. That we're within the bounds of what this is supposed to be. If I am throwing out those names or throwing out those words in ways that don't fit those categories, or I'm specifically talking to him or about him, then I shouldn't be doing it. Okay. So I want to give a quick plug. If you want to look up something else about this, and it sort of expands on this into some other words that we misuse, there's a great video. You can check it out on YouTube. It's by, just type in John Piper, Piper, on cussing. John Piper on cussing. So about 8 or 9 minutes. It's really, really good. That sort of dives into, okay, what does this mean? And sort of other language and using our words wisely and avoiding certain things. So I really recommend that. But I use some of that. So he talked about, when we talk about things like God or Jesus Christ or damn or hell, things that these are important spiritual realities that we should not just throw around as if it doesn't mean anything. These are not throwaway words. These are not words that we should use as a curse on someone else. When we do that, we are belittling God. And that is not a thing we want to be doing. That is not a place we want to be. So we want to be cautious about that. Other ways that we can break this commandment, I think if we are breaking vows that we have made in God's name, then we're dishonoring his name, which we shouldn't be randomly making vows or promises or swear or whatever anyway, right? I'll hear people say things like that. I swear to God. We shouldn't be doing that, okay? Also, we should not be claiming something comes from God. We should not be claiming something in God's name that we are not sure has come from him, okay? Whether it's false teachers, false prophets, whether it's saying things like, well, God told me to, if he didn't actually tell you that and it's not in his word, okay? So we're saying things in God's name that are not coming from God. We are misusing his name and we're using it in vain. We need to avoid that. Lastly, and I want you to follow me on this. There's another way that I think we can break this commandment that we need to be cautious about, okay? A name, because this is what it says, right? Do not use the Lord's name in vain. And we know his name, that when that's talking about that is Yahweh or Jehovah, which comes from the verb I am, okay? This is who God is. This is the name that he has revealed himself by. A name represents a person. When I hear Julie's name or my kid's name or whatever, like I don't just hear a word. I don't just hear a name. I think of that person because I associate those together, right? The same is true with God. And if we are calling ourselves a follower of Christ and a follower of God, then we are claiming his name on ourselves. And if we are living in a way that is inconsistent with his character, then I, as someone claiming his name, am defaming his name. And that's not okay. So when we look at this verse, we also need to be thinking about not just my words, but what is my lifestyle, because I am claiming his name on myself. And I need to be making sure that I'm doing that in a way that honors him. So yes, it is very important that we use our words wisely and not misuse God's name in the way that we speak. That also needs to match up with our lifestyle. So I hope that's an encouragement to you guys. Wednesday, we'll be back with Honor the Sabbath, and we'll talk about that, what that looks like today. And then we'll have our Zoom meeting Wednesday night too. So I love you guys. Let me know your guesses for the core team games, and enjoy the rest of your day. I love you. We'll see you soon.